She was behind a slow-moving SUV and couldn't see any automobiles. The neighborhood roads were tiny, so she was delayed behind it for a few minutes. Her body tensed up. She saw the SUV's back window just before pressing the hooter. Changes everything. Rebecca Lane wanted to get to work on time when she took a different route that morning. Her day started poorly when one of her sons was hospitalized. Rebecca handled everything that week because her husband was away. Rebecca handled everything well due to her over a decade of motherhood and marriage. She had no idea a car would ruin her morning. Rebecca was always hardworking. She balanced work, family, and hobbies in a small Colorado town. She considered her life perfect. A car window sign would change her outlook. Rebecca only experienced this once. It cleared her eyes of cobwebs she didn't know she had. Where people grow up shapes their norms. Rebecca was raised to prioritize family and self. She died to care for her loved ones. She never noticed strangers. Rebecca had experienced this morning before. She'd been late for work due to sick kids and home issues. If you like my videos, don't forget to like or subscribe. Thanks in advance. Even though she was used to it, it wasn't easy, especially with her husband away. Rebecca would finish before work. Rebecca's first son, Jayden, had a nasty rash, so she put everything on hold and drove him to the emergency room. She drove him home. After making sure he had everything he needed for the day, she drove her 2 other kids to school and went to work. Despite her best efforts, Rebecca was late for work. She had to be smart to avoid her boss's wrath because morning traffic had already devoured the highway. Rebecca changed her work route to avoid conflict. The road, longer than the highway, would be empty. What awaited her was unknown. Rebecca took the fastest route allowed by traffic laws. She wasn't on the road long when she saw something ahead that stopped her heart. When she realized, she cursed. This road was blocked by the same traffic she was trying to avoid. She saw it while trying to decide. The only traffic before Rebecca was a slow-moving SUV. Rebecca had been driving behind it for minutes, her teeth grinding as time passed. She saw the car's rear window and was about to honk. Her life would change forever. Rebecca ignored the sign because she was worried about her son and arriving late. Now she studied it carefully, knowing it wouldn't hurt to learn something new. The sign clearly read, "Learning stick, sorry for any delay." Rebecca's heart softened immediately, and she started thinking about things she'd never considered. Knowing this information, I was very patient with their slow shifting, and honestly, they were doing pretty well for still learning, Rebecca wrote on Facebook. She remembered her first manual car driving experience as hell. She asked herself a crucial question after her simmering anger subsided. I wondered if I would have been as patient without the sign. No. This realization hit her like a freight train, opening her eyes to many new things. We don't know. We don't display our hardships. Signs saying going through a divorce, lost a child, feeling depressed, or diagnosed with cancer don't appear on people's shirts. What could she do if a learner driver blocked her way to work? Rebecca called her office. A home emergency delayed her. Her family-friendly boss understood when Rebecca mentioned her son's illness. Rebecca's revelations continued after the day. If we could read visually what others are going through, we would definitely be nicer, she wrote on Facebook. She remembered times she should have been kinder to others. How often had she ignored someone's feelings? Her post encouraged readers to consider her revelation. Would they listen? We shouldn't need signs or reasons to be kind to strangers. We should do it regardless. Regardless. She praised the SUV driver before driving to work. Let's spread patience, kindness, and love. Have a good day, she wrote. She never expected the responses. Before Rebecca knew it, her Facebook post had 10,000 messages, 195,000 likes, and 217,000 shares. Rebecca had been writing blog posts and advice columns on her personal blog and sharing them on Facebook for 5 years, but she had never received this much attention. Her message is still relevant. Good. I drive a Standard and get annoyed daily because I can't go from 0 to 50 in 5 seconds. I must shift. Society is blindly self-centered. Sad, one woman said. She was right. Over the past decade, many feel society has become less considerate. Perhaps you're not alone in thinking the world is becoming more hostile. Hostility is everywhere lately. Servers and flight attendants say common decency has vanished. After the pandemic, it worsened. Only the most extreme stories about entitled Karens going insane make the news. Everyone remembers the Connecticut mother who slapped an elementary school bus driver and the California woman who assaulted a Southwest Airlines flight attendant. Psychiatrists say these stories seem to reflect a deeper trend in America, which is disturbing. Americans seem to have forgotten their manners, especially with helpers. Flight attendants who have seen it all say passengers are causing mayhem, and restaurants say diners are ruder than ever. One Massachusetts restaurant closed for a day in 2021 to give staff a break from rude customers. Then what? Psychologists say power shifts cause customer service rudeness. People feel almost entitled to be rude to people who are not in a position of power, says Stanford psychiatry professor Hans Steiner. Especially when they come at them, reminding them that they have to do their part to get rid of this pandemic. Some researchers attribute gateway rudeness to the internet. We don't filter ourselves as much as we used to, says psychologist Bernard Golden. People feel they can say anything online. They are defenseless. They bring that filterlessness to public life. I think our recent leadership has only encouraged that. Alison Green, who has answered workplace questions on her popular website Ask a Manager for over 10 years, has noticed a shocking trend. Workers in every sector report a dramatic increase in abusive behavior from the public. Alison's inbox shows that public rudeness has been rising for years and worsened during the pandemic. She gets shocking emails. I've been in retail over 10 years and there has been behavior from people in the last few months I've never seen, even in pandemic times, where it seems the convergence of war, rising energy prices, ongoing pandemic, etc., one email reads. This has led to the public's worst behavior yet. People everywhere are being their worst. I work as an EA in the largest healthcare system in my state, and employee safety has been a topic among executives and board members in the past 6 months, another anonymous email read. Patients, family members, and visitors are behaving badly. To protect our nurses, doctors, clinicians, receptionists, and other public-facing staff, we had to increase security in our facilities. Intriguingly, Alison has also received Karen emails. I will sheepishly admit that over the past 2 years I was rude to a few service employees, call center agents, over things that were either out of their control or because of minor mistakes that we all make. I was never like that, one email read. Not an excuse, but pandemic stress isolation just got overwhelming and manifested in me acting like a jerk a few times, unfortunately. Many Karens realize their bad behavior and entitlement. They say uncertainty makes kindness and understanding harder. I try to be kind, especially to IT and service workers, but lately I've noticed frustration coming out in my interactions with people, especially when I'm anxious about other things. Climate change, the pandemic, war, collapsing trust in government and institutions, it is all so large and outside of our control, one person said. So in the moment it feels not only good, but that I'm entitled to feel and act frustrated. Obviously, this perception is untrue and harmful, the person continued. But I have a sense that much of the aggression coming out in social interactions is an external manifestation of anxiety and feeling loss of control in our lives, the email concluded. Is this why people seem ruder today? All of this makes Rebecca's post about how we don't know what others are going through even more important, and readers are trying to learn from it. Seriously, we need to remember that people who act differently, impatient, upset, sad, unfriendly, are not bad. Smile and be understanding, sometimes they have something going on. It always works, one commenter wrote. Another Facebook user who commented on Rebecca's post said it best: "Everyone we meet is fighting some kind of battle. It's not up to us to judge them just because we can't see their inner turmoil. Despite what we see, we must be kind." Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.